welcome all of you here. You're at 6 Steps to Building a Better Business Mastermind Workshop, and I'm going to give you 70 years of information. No, 7 years of information in the time that we're together, hopefully. I'll just throw it at you, take what you can. There should be notes for you. You should be able to take notes. And I'm going to offer you at the end, if you want to go further with the conversation, I'm going to give you a couple of options at the end to do that with you if you would care to. So, if that's okay with you, let's get started. And let's start with a quick share. So, if you don't mind saying your name and your company name, your ideal customer, and your number one business challenges. And the first thing I'm doing is coaching you is to let you know that everybody needs to be able to describe their ideal customer to a T. It's not everybody, because that isn't true. We couldn't handle everybody. So we want to make sure we know exactly who our ideal customer is, and you're no pressure today. If you're not able to do it that great, we'll work on it. So can I be your coach for the next 90 minutes? Okay, I got a whistle. Woo! No, not really. I will do that. My purpose today is to reward your time with increase in sales and profits, which would make everyone happy, of course, and then freeing up your time, because if you free up your time to do the right things, all these other things are easier, and then how to create an amazing team. And this is a little bit about me. You want to know about me, right? It's all about me. I'm just kidding you. It's not about me. But I have been a coach for 10 years. This is Action Coach is a franchise. I bought it 10 years ago. I am DISC certified. I have Gallup Strength certification, which is a certification that helps people look at the talents that they have innately and leverage those. I'm executive coach certified. But my most thing that makes me the most proud, I have a degree in organizational leadership and management. I don't have that on there? Okay, I have a degree too. But what I'm most proud is my Breakout Coach of the Year for 2017 as an Action Coach. And then I was the Regional Coach Leader nominated by my peers in 2019. And then Action Man of the Year, which they changed to Action Hero, because it is a little action man, I mean, after all. And then, I got that in 2023. I came to tears at that one because I was other coaches who gave me that one. And we're a big community of coaches. There's about 1,000 of us. And so we help each other and we come together and we train each other and all kinds of stuff. But then last year I got best client results for my client. I know! That was a really big deal. So, because at the end of the day, you hire a coach, not a friend. And the friend is a friend, but a coach helps you get more money, more time, more life. So, a little bit about Action Coach, number one coaching firm in the world. Have more than 1,000 coaching offices around the country. It's privately owned by Brad Sugars. He's the author of these books and 19 others. He's still involved in the business. Our vision is to create world abundance through business reeducation. How cool is that? Because I believe if everybody knows how to run a business, everybody can make money. There's enough for all of us. We coach over 18,000 businesses every year in all these countries. It's nothing for me to be on a call with somebody from South Africa, Germany, Lebanon, at any given time. It is amazing what I have experienced as an Action Coach. It's been phenomenal. Here's my why. So this is an older picture of my family. There are a few more now, but these are my kids or grandkids, and my why is for all of my grandkids to go on an international trip with me. Because I believe that they'll have memories of that, and there's nothing you can do. You can't replace that kind of an experience with someone, so that's my why. And I want my business to be able to afford that and to be able to leave and be gone. So far, I've taken one of them to Hawaii, and I am taking that one there, little blonde. She's going to Rio with me this summer. So she's 16, so she thinks she's going to really party. We'll see. The grandma. All right, so let's get down to it. A little bit about learning. So here we are today. We've got, some of you are left brain. Some of you like words and math and logic and all that stuff, right? Then there are the rest of us, the fun group. Sorry, no kidding. We like the art and the music and to be creative, right? And we're big feeling people, and we can paint a big picture for you, right? But guess what? If you're a left brain person, do you still have to do marketing? And if you're marketing, do you still have to do some kind of accounting? Absolutely. So what we're going to do today is crisscross the neurons in our brain and create some confusion. We want confusion. Right after confusion comes a breakthrough, comes learning. So be on the lookout for confusion and welcome it, because it's the next step to being great. So we're going to create some confusion. The most out of today too, we want to use colors. I actually don't have colored pens for you guys, but I have some other fun stuff. Call out answers. It's going to be interactive. Raise your hand. And words are stored in short-term memory, so if you can make notes and circle things, then it'll last longer and stay in long-term memory. So we're going to try to do that to get the most out of today. Okay, I'm going to share with you a very powerful concept called the point of power. The point of power is the decision that we make when we arrive in life every single day. We get to decide, do we want to be where on the point of power? Do we want to be below the point? Blame, excuse, denial, like getting in your bed and just laying there? Or above the point of power, taking ownership, accountability, and responsibility for our thoughts and our words and our actions. I love this concept. It's great for teams. It's sometimes great for spouses, but be careful with, when my husband calls me out on being below the point, it really annoys me. So you do have to be careful about using it with spouses, but it is a great tool for team, because it's not like, why'd you do that, Stu? It's, do you think you were below the point or above the point? People know. And then they can tell us, and then we can educate them and train. So, point of power, the only failure in life is to participate. It's like, if you pay for the gym membership, but you don't go to the gym, that's really not 100% participation. The only weight you're going to lose is in the wallet. So 100% participation today in this is what? What do we do here for 100% participation? Participate. Raise your hand, write, and communicate. What can you expect today? I like to say we want to make sure that you have BFOs, blinding flashes of the obvious. So you may hear something you've heard before. You may hear something from someone else, and you're going to go, wow, that is amazing. I hadn't thought about that before. So if you have a blinding flash of the obvious, a BFO today, please use your clapper and make sure that the world knows, because if we anchor a BFO with a sound or with a physical movement, we're more likely to keep it. So just make sure your clapper works, everybody. They all work. Everybody's got them. There's always one person who doesn't like the clapper. All right, so BFOs. Okay, now I know we talked about a business workshop and a mastermind, so let's do some masterminding here. What if I gave you the formula for life success today? I mean, what if I did that? Would that be okay? I mean, are you ready for it? Whatever you have in life, whatever you have is a result of what you have done or do and who you believe you are. So your be times your do equals your have. And the cool thing about this is it really is a formula. So if I wanted to, for example, take this formula, let's just say I want to have a $1 million home. Right now I have a $500,000 home, let's just say. What do I need to do to have $1 million home? What would this person need to do to have $1 million home?
Work harder.
Right. What are some other things? Spend less. Okay. What things spend less? Okay. What might they need to be in order to live? More successful. Right. So be is about being. It's like the human being thing. So being more disciplined around saving, being more disciplined about maybe not working but doing the right kind of work, right? So the being kinds of things. So if we did this as a formula, and let's just say the 20, this is a 20, and this is a 5, and this is a 4. So my be, my belief in myself, my behavior, all of that is a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10. And let's just say that my do is a 5. So my have is a 20. So let's just say, that's a $500,000 house in this case. I know you bookkeepers are loving my math. I know you are. And then we have the 5 times 4 equals 20. So this person's more be, more believing, more becoming, more being aware, doing a little bit less, but the result's the same for them. And then this person is really good at some part, at the do, but they just don't believe in themselves. There's no belief there. There's no becoming the next person that I need to be in order to be the 500. Because most people's salary is exactly the same as it was last year. Their marriage is exactly the same as was last year, because we do and be the same things. Then we have the person who's a good old be, and man, look at me, I'm awesome. You guys know this person. I'm going to do this and this and this and this, and I'm going to blah, blah, but they don't do anything. So they still get the same result. These are all the same, right? So whatever you work on, let's just say we work on our B. We become more disciplined. We hire a mentor, we hire a coach, we hire an accountability person, we hire an accountant, whatever it is we need to do, and let's just say we move that to a 6. Then we decide, we learn to manage our time better. We figure out where we need to be spending our time, where the most appropriate time is to leverage our income. And let's just make that also up by 2. What's my number now? 6 times 7. I know, it's like, get the calculator out. So that is how B times do equals have works. Think about, you want to have a better marriage. What do you need to do? Who do you need to be? You want to have a bigger bank account. What do you need to do? Who do you need to be? You want to have better grades in school. What do you need to do? Who do you need to be? So when I asked my grandson this and his 4 kids, his 4 buddies that came over for dinner, and I shared this concept, and they're like going, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And so we took their football. They play football. You want to have more playing time. What do you need to do? Who do you need to be? Wow. They knew exactly what to do. So I just gave you the formula for life success. You're welcome. No BFOs? No BFOs? Yay! Awesome! So let's think about your business. Is your business driving you, or are you driving your business? One of the things we have to do, and to make sure we get the most out of learning, not just today, but always, is to not say, I know. So you remember when you were 15, which was what, last year? Such a baby. So you remember when your parents said, when you're going out, wear your seatbelt, no drinking, get home before curfew. I know, right? I know, plus your eyes roll. I know. What happens when you say I know to your parents? Do you think they were really listening, or did they shut us down? They shut us down. I know, Mom. Well, adults do it too. We're just more polite. So why don't you do more cold calling and networking and be less whatever? I know. I already know. I know that. But if I don't do it, it's the same as not know. If I know it but don't do it, it's the same as not knowing. So instead of saying I know today or anytime really, is to say, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Because maybe we have tried it and it didn't work, and we need to look at an idea again. So you're going to be hearing things today. You're like, I already know that, but I just want to ask you to say, isn't that interesting? That the things that Lee's teaching us today are things that 18,000 businesses use every single week, and it works. So instead of saying, I know, isn't that interesting? I want to teach you about the entrepreneurial ladder. So most people, actually, there should be one more under here, and that's the student. I love the student because really, I was just telling you yesterday, I wish I would have taken geometry and trigonometry and all these really, really hard classes for free. No, I didn't. So as a student, you get free learning, right, on the entrepreneurial ladder. Who knows what you learn? Then you become an employee, and then you get trained for free. They send you to management training. They send you to leadership training. They teach you things, right? Then you decide to have an entrepreneurial seizure, and you become self-employed, right? And so then you're working for yourself. The work you do pays you. Then you become a manager. So you earn money from your job, then you earn money for the work that you do, and then you are earning money from other people's assets that you've hired, and you're managing those people. Then you become an owner-leader. This is earning money from the whole team, right? And most people are at manager in business, if at manager. Most people are actually self-employed. You guys have seen that. The accounting people in the room know that. And it's really, we believe that entrepreneur is, you're now the investor making money from other people's profits, and then a true entrepreneur, is making money from other people's money. Making money from other people's money. So Brad Sugars, the founder of Action Coach, every day of the week someone's calling him and saying, can I give you a lot of money so that we can go do this idea together? Sure, I'll take your money and we'll go this idea. And that's what happens when you have success over and over and over again, like with investing in property or investing in other businesses. So that's the entrepreneurial ladder. I don't know where you are on the entrepreneurial ladder. I know some of you are brand new, so you're right, just eking into self-employed. But you can stay there forever, or you can get wherever you want to go. You can be a true entrepreneur in any business in 10 years. 10 years, if you do it, really quicker, depending on where your business is now. So our definition of a business at Action Coach is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. So the first thing I do when I work with my clients is tell me when you're turning the keys over to someone else. Doesn't mean you have to be gone forever, but I want to know the date in which the keys go to someone else. And we work backwards from that. So the 6 steps that we teach all of our clients, and that's what this is called, 6 steps, right? Number 1, mastery, eliminating chaos. And then that gets the stability in the business. Then we work on niche, which is basically marketing, and I'm going to go into detail about these. Then we have the leverage, doing more with less, leveraging everything, having team to do the work that you no longer need or want to do, and then having synergy so that the business, you can have a general manager while you're gone. May not be gone all the time, but the business can run without you. And then finally we have the results of the business, and the business is performing for the owner so that the owner has personal growth, new businesses, philanthropic, whatever. Give your money away if you want to. I have some clients who come to me and they're like, I don't want to be too greedy. You don't have to be greedy. You can give it all away. And that's a beautiful thing. A lot of people who become entrepreneurs give that money away, and that's awesome. So those are the 6 steps to massive results, and I'm going to go into detail about those. We'll also talk about the 5 ways to grow. Every business needs to know leads, conversion rate, average dollar sale transactions, and profit margins. And then these 4 ways: people, education, systems, technology, delivery, distribution, accounting, testing, and measuring. Just quick question, are you sure you still want to go into business? It's not as bad as it seems. Absolutely. Yeah, it's fun, and it is fun. And every time you learn something new, it just opens up new opportunities. So good for you. It is the most fun thing, I think, that business, there's nothing more fun than business except babies. Babies are pretty cool. All right, so we want to figure out mastery, and so you can have a commercial business, not a hobby, a commercial business. What makes that? 4 areas of mastery. Destination. What's this business look like when it's done? Where's it going? What's it look like when I'm finished? Money mastery, I'm going to go into detail about that. Time mastery, you have the same 24 hours as Warren Buffett, the same 24 hours as the homeless. What's the difference? Got to figure out what that is. And having delivery over mastery over delivery, and that's how your product goes to market. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. First, destination answers the question, where is this business going? If I've got a business and I want to have a location on the west side of town, the south side of town, and the east side of town, and I want to have 5 employees, and I want to have a CFO, and I want to have an international branch, and I want to have all these things, I have to be able to articulate that to bring on the team so I can enroll and inspire them. If we're not clear, then anything will do, and that's why growth doesn't happen in businesses. It's like, I don't know. Well, let's do the same thing we did yesterday. So first, get clear with that. Usually the first thing people want to do when they hire me is I want to get all my systems up and running. Okay. What's your business look like when it's finished? I don't know. I just want to get systems. Well, systems are great, but they're really not the first thing to work on, believe it or not. Okay, then we have number 2, money mastery. I know my bookkeepers are loving me for this. Know and read and understand your P&L. Look at your balance sheet every single month, statement of cash flows, having KPIs. These are key performance indicators. What numbers and things does the business have to do that if I can manage those numbers on a dashboard, I know they're doing successful business. Also taxes and financial planning, right? So that's money mastery. And we want to make decisions based on the numbers, not just on feelings. Like, feels like I've got a lot of customers right now. It feels like I've got a lot of business coming in. Well, let's count them. Let's check, right? So we're going to hold you to those things. We want to, money mastery is also break even. We need to know when our break-even is, no matter what your business is. Now, you might have multiple lines in your business. We need to know what the break-even is for multiple lines. But the thing that we want to celebrate is the day of the month that you're making money no matter what. And that is a beautiful thing. So we figure out what that is, because there's always a certain amount of fixed expenses. You've got money coming in, and then you've got net profit, and then variable expenses, things that happen only when there's a sale. All those things you have to figure out. And it's not science, but it is something you have to do on a regular basis. Otherwise, you run your business on feelings or checking account balances. Not good. Once we know where break-even is, then we can ramp up things and really, really, really be profitable. So where's the profitability for your business daily, weekly, monthly, annually? All right. And then we have the 4 areas of mastery. The third is time mastery. First thing I have you do is tell me where you're spending your time all day long. And when people say, oh my gosh, I am so busy, so busy. Really? What'd you do? I don't know, but I was busy. But we want to spend time on doing strategic things versus in the weeds, and I'm going to give you some examples of what the breakdown looks like in that in a little bit. That's this, the time target. So this is the Stephen Covey time target. He basically says there are things that are not urgent, not important. What do we do that's not urgent, not important? No, that would be a bookkeeper thing, right? Okay, yes. This would be something, right? Not urgent, not important texting, scrolling social media, yeah. But other those things that are not really meaningful. And then that's what we call distraction. It's like, I'm doing those things, and it's just distraction. It's not profitable. It's not doing anything to help me. Then we have things that are urgent but not important, like, hey, do you have a minute? Hey, can I have you help me? If someone says, hey, Lee, I'm going, because I'm really distractible. So I have to really protect that in myself. That's why we do the time study. Where are those places that we're spending time on urgent, not important things? Then we have, Stephen Covey calls that delusion, because at the end of the day you think you've done a lot of things, but really it's just delusional stuff. Then there's urgent and important. What's that? Urgent and important. It's urgent, customers calling, invoicing, payroll, all those things that are urgent and important. If you don't do them, you're really not in business. That's demand, and that's the demand of the business. So the total there is 80%. Stephen Covey says that 20% of the business should be in the not urgent and important zone, and that's 20%. And that's what you guys are doing now, because not one of you had to be here. Is this important? Absolutely. Learning, growing, and working on your business. Could you have missed it? Absolutely. So 20% of the time, and how many days a week is 20%? One day. Oh, I love my accountants, you guys, and you're not just love it. Yes, 1 day a week. 1 day a week. And that's what we do in coaching. One of the first things we do in coaching is figure out how we're going to get you that day. Get you that day so you can work on your business. Then fourth area of mastery is what people say after delivery, right? So who's this? Can anybody tell who this is? Chick-fil-A, absolutely. I mean, we can tell who they are because we know what they stand at the car inhaling all that fumes just to be there and give us our order. It's really not quicker, but it sure takes our mind off of it, doesn't it? So how did they change that industry? They did such consistent delivery, didn't they? Absolutely. It's the foundation for healthy growth. Absolutely. So what's the Chick-fil-A in your business? I think that's a great question we should also ask. What's the Chick-fil-A in your business, Stu? What is it? Oh, whenever you call Stu, you know you're going to get this. I mean, the chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A is, on a scale of 1 to 10, what, a 5? Maybe? 6? 8? Just an 8 for her. Because the service tastes so good, right? It's my pleasure. So, and then we have niche, which is then we've got foundation. Now we can start focusing on the things we do better than anybody else. Having a commercial, profitable business. Then, that is having no price competition. So if you had no price competition, would it be easier to do all of these things? Get more referrals? Marketing, you would know all the marketing you did would pay off because you have no competition, right? So we're going to talk about how not to have price competition. So first thing is figuring out the uniquenesses about your business, about your industry. What are the uniquenesses? And then we have testing and measuring whatever it is that you think it is, asking your customers, asking your competitors, previous customers, those questions. We have a unique selling proposition and guarantee system tool that we have you complete. It's a 60-page document. Don't let that scare you because it's cool to get all the answers. But you want to find something that's truly unique about your business, not just customer service. It cannot be great service. Because when you ask somebody, what do you do? Well, what makes you different? Well, service. I mean, honestly, would someone say, our service sucks, but we're nice? You know what I mean? So we cannot have it just be customer service. It has to be something else. How do we eliminate price competition? We are not a commodity. So here's an example of how the commodity thing works. Remember back when there was a company called Macintosh? iPhone, whatever they were called. What were they called?
BlackBerry?
No, this one. iPhone. Anyway, when these first came out, people waited in line for 2 days for them. Do you remember that? Because they wanted to have the best, the most coolest, amazing thing. It had this screen on it that you could touch with your finger and move things, no buttons. How cool was that, right? It was $1,000 and people waited in line for 2 days. But hardly anybody, that was not a commodity, anywhere near a commodity at that point. But then the innovation, they grew, and then pretty soon iPhone does it, and then everybody else does it. Now any phone you get can have one of these, right? So now they have to re-innovate all the time. And so basically we have to stay out of commodity, and then when everybody else is doing what we're doing, we have to re-innovate. And that's the curve around innovation and why businesses stay or do or don't go further in business, whether they innovate or not. So creating a unique selling proposition and having a guarantee. So really listen to this. A guarantee should deal with your customers' frustrations, right? So here's one. If plumbers leave a mess, how do you make that be your guarantee? How do you make your guarantee? We leave it cleaner than we found it. We wear the boots or whatever. And most countries, and like real estate has lots of laws they have to comply with, so do accountants. Go ahead and tell people what those laws are and make them part of your guarantee. Like I guarantee that you will have a document that's been reviewed by a professional, something, whatever. And you could say, we guarantee we use ink on our products that is not poisonous. Because you have to. Might as well tell people that, right? So you get to set what the rules of the game are, make sure you can deliver it, and make a multiple point guarantee, like a 7-point guarantee, and then use the Action Coach guarantee document that I was telling you about. So here's an ad. Now this is old. This was a Yellow Page ad. So do you know what Yellow Pages are, Taryn? It's a book. It's the Yellow Pages. No? Okay. She goes, no. She said no. I knew it was going to happen, so I was going to say no. So they used to advertise in something called the Yellow Pages. And everybody was trying to be different in the Yellow Pages. And here's this company's ad. So they bring customers to you through your website. We build it, you sell it. They're a custom internet web designer. So if you wanted a new website, what would you ask if you found this ad either on social media or in the Yellow Pages? What would you ask this customer? What would be your first question? You're looking for a new website. How much? I agree with you because they're not telling you anything else, right? So the first question you would ask is, what's the price? Which you just said. Good job. Okay, so let's take the same ad, the same ad, and add the guarantee and the frustrations and all of that are associated with the unique selling proposition and guarantee. Number one, we're going to give you your money back. That's our guarantee. We'll guarantee to keep your website, blah, blah, blah. We will take responsibility. We will write. We will how long? Have you been in business? You're telling them all these things. First thing people want to know is, oh my gosh, are you a brand new web company? No, we've been around since 1997. That's a frustration or a fear people have. Address it, right? So that's what having unique selling proposition and guarantee does for you. So this ad ended up generating $14,000 in just 1 month. So knowing who your customer is and marketing to them with your unique selling proposition, which is why we have to know who our prospects are. Remember when I asked you earlier, who's your ideal customer? It can't be everyone because only Coca-Cola can afford to advertise to everyone. We can't. All right, let me explain the 5 ways. Most people know how many customers they have. They know what their revenue is, and they know what their profit is. What they don't know are how they got all those things because those are just results. So this is where it really gets exciting. Let's put some numbers into play. So remember earlier when I said the 5 ways, leads, conversion rate, number of transactions, average dollar sale, profit margin. This will be music to your ears when you're running your business. You're going to love this. So, and like I said, the 3 in red, those are results, and those are the numbers everybody knows. Am I right, accountants? Am I right? Oh yeah, my profit was, or my revenue was. So in this scenario, let's just say we have 4,000 leads coming into this business in a month. Just a kind of business that gets 4,000 leads. They have a conversion rate of 25%, and we know it because we tested it and checked it out. No, people always overestimate their conversion rate, usually by about 50%. Just so you know. So that tells you how many customers you have. So your leads multiplied times your conversion rate, your customers. And from there, we want to know how many transactions does the average customer buy from you. So number of transactions in this scenario is 2. And in the average dollar sale in this scenario is $100. So simple math. The revenue then is 200,000. Customers times they buy twice, average dollar sale, 100. Some buy more, some buy less, some buy higher, some buy lower. $200,000 revenue. Profit margins 25% because we can figure that pretty easily with a few numbers, leaving a profit for this business of $50,000 a month. That's basically how that works. So what we do in coaching is we take each of these numbers and we increase them by 10%. Just 10%, not 50, not 100, just 10. And ideally, you should be able to increase all the numbers within a year by 10%. Pretty easily. I mean, it can be done. Nothing's easy. It's simple. How about that? So let's show you how we do it. Increase 10% the number of leads. We have over 85 strategies for that. Number one way to increase your leads is to know your unique selling proposition and guarantee so you can promote it and tell people what it is. That brings in more leads, right? And then getting more leads from your existing database, that's another way that you can get leads. So let's just say we're able to get this. We will increase the number by 10%. So now we have 4,400 leads coming into this business. We're going to increase the conversion rate by 10% and not double it or anything like that, just 10%. So it goes from 25% to 27.5%. Conversion rate, best way to improve your conversion rate is to take a sales course, learn how to ask for the sale, close the sale. Make sure that you have positioned when you want your customer to buy. There are a handful of things that you can do to increase your conversion rate right away. The number one thing you can do is ask for the sale. How many times have you had somebody present something to you and they're like, well, let me know. What? You got to ask for the sale, okay? So in this scenario, working on 4,400 leads at a 27.5% conversion rate because we've taken a sales class and we asked for the sale, and we now have 1,210 customers. What we're going to do with those customers is we're going to improve the number of transactions by asking them and providing additional services. All of us should have additional services. So you could have, if you're a clothing store, you could sell somebody a suit and the socks and the tie or whatever that goes with it. Or if you're a car, who's really good at average number of transactions? You think you're just going to buy a car, but really you buy a car and you buy an undercoat and you buy a whatever, then that increases those number of transactions, right? So we're going to go from 2 transactions to just 2.2. So 1 in 10 more buy than did before. We're going to increase our price by 10%. So instead of $100, it's $110. So now we have 1,210 customers multiplied by 2.2 multiplied to 110. That is $292.82 in this business. It's $820. And now we're going to increase profit margin. So the best way to increase profit margin is to look at all your expenses. I know the accountants love me when I say this. Look at all your expenses because there are things you paid for last year you probably don't need to pay for this year, and usually you can cut expenses by 10% in the same business. So now we're at a profit of $80,000 in a month in just this business. And that wasn't that hard, was it? 10% across all ways. So the question I have for you is, what would you do with an extra $30,000? Because that's what that was, an extra $30,000. If you had $30,000 a month, that'd be $360,000 in profit more a year in this business. It's a 46% increase in revenue, but it's a 61% increase in profit. And I just did a post the other day. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. You know, revenue is great, but profit is what pays the bills, right? So that's what it is, a 40% increase in revenue and 61% increase in profit. So if you take your existing revenue and multiply it times 4.6, that's what your number would be if you did 10% across all the 5 ways. If you did your profit and multiplied it by 6.1, that's what it would be if you did 10% in all your 5 ways. All right, so Warren Buffett says it's not necessary to do extraordinary things to get extraordinary results. 10% across the board can be done, right? Can you do that in your business? It's doable. Then we get into leverage. Now we want to leverage, do more with less, having a commercial, profitable enterprise that works. So leverage is all about systems, saving yourself time, energy, and money. Systems. But notice we're not talking about systems first. We're doing all the other things, right? So the systemizing business, first thing that has to be done is the vision statement. Where's this business going? And you as the owner are inspiring people with that vision, with that mission. The mission is the how, the vision is the what are we going to do, and the mission is how are we going to get there. Kennedy says, I want to go to the moon. The mission control says we'll get you there, and this is how. Number 3, is having a culture statement that defines how you're going to do business. Are we going to be a company that does a lot of charity work, or are we going to be a quiet company that's under the radar and does other things? Whatever your culture is defined either by you or the people that work for you. Having SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time, because this is not a goal. We want to increase profits. A goal is we want to increase profits by 10% by the end of the year. That's a SMART goal. And an organizational chart. So do you have an organizational chart for your business? Well, I know some of you are new. So here's what I challenge you to do. So today it's February, Collie, it's February already, of 2025. What does your business look like in 2030? What does your organizational chart look like in 2030? It's got you in there, and unless you just want it to be you, and it can be. So what does it look like? Do you have a VP? Do you have sales? And some of these people can be outsourced people, your bookkeeper, your accountant, your HR, whatever. But having an organizational chart for what your business looks like in 5 years tells you what you need to be working on until then and how much it's going to cost you and what kind of revenue you need to have. The cool thing about it is if I know I'm going to be hiring a salesperson next year and I go to a restaurant and I meet someone and they tell me they just graduated from college, they've been in a restaurant, all they want to do is marketing and sales, and I think they're amazing, and I know I'm going to be hiring for that position, I might have a conversation with them. But it's already in my organizational chart, and when I bring people on to the organization, this is where we're growing to. So you're enrolling and inspiring your team to be a part of something bigger. So having an organizational chart, believe it or not, is part of systemizing. Having positional contracts for each of the people that work for you so they know what they're responsible for, their KPIs, so those 5 things that you have to be responsible for in your position. Having how-to systems and management systems. All right, then we have team. Now we can have a structure for growth, having a profitable enterprise that works without you. Yay! All right, as the coach, what we do is we help you, we coach you, the owner, to grow the team supports the customers, and the customers support the business, and the business supports you. If you're trying to take care of the team and the customers and the business, then you can't get it all. You can't do it all. So that's our role, is to coach you. And having a winning team with strong leadership, having a common goal that you share with your team, knowing what the rules of the game are, and having an action plan for the business and sharing it, supporting risk-taking when people come with an idea, and then 100% involvement and inclusion. There's a story about risk-taking. There was this business Starbucks had, when they were kind of newer, younger company, there was this Starbucks branch or location that was making these cold drinks. They were mixing up coffee, and I think they called it a frappuccino. That's what they called it. Is what it's called now. So they were making it, and the regional manager said, "You've got to stop making that cold coffee. That's not what we do." They said, "But we're selling more of that than anything." Really? Okay, so they ended up taking the idea up above to wherever it goes in the Starbucks dynasty, and lo and behold, they decided to adopt that idea. But if they hadn't supported the risk-taking of that person, out there in the field doing something different, it wouldn't have happened. So the importance of risk-taking for people who are on your team as keys to a winning team. Now, synergy is having growth from your team so you can have a general manager or somebody running the business so your business runs on autopilot. So here's a quote from Jim Rohn. If you don't follow Jim Rohn, make a note. He says, "Never wish your life were easier, wish that you were better." It goes back to B times do equals have. Work harder on yourself than you do on your business. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. I just love him. So 2 directions you can go today. Try to improve your business on your own, or interested in massive results in your business. So I wanted to offer you guys something. This is the coaching journey, and I love this because what we have is we have the B. You start as an employee, self-employed manager, wherever you are over there. And then these are the 6 steps we talked about today. And then this is kind of how it works together. We go through the 6 steps, and you can see once we get it right here, things really go fast. But we have to get that foundation in place. So I love this because it crisscrosses the 6 steps, and we can't do everything overnight, but there is a plan. We can put a plan in place. So coaching is an apprenticeship, and what you learn pays forever and ever and ever. That's what I love about coaching. It goes on. I've had a coach since I've been a coach my whole 10 years, sometimes 2 coaches. Where you'll be in 5 years depends on the books you read, the people you associate with, and the action that you take. And that's Brad Sugars. You know you've made a good decision if it brings up excitement or fear. And he's a little bit grayer than that now, but he's only like 52 or 53. And he's great. If you want to see him, we're having an event in Houston in October. You can come. So if you want to have a strategy session with me, I do a 90-minute strategy session with businesses that have at least 3 employees or have been in business 3 years. You would complete some information in advance because I do a lot of work to prepare for it. You decide yes or no at the appointment whether you want to. You'll know if you want to work with me, and I'll know if I want to work with you, and invest 90 minutes without interruption. So the number one question people ask then usually at these things is, what is a typical coaching program like? You start working with us. We meet once a week. Once a week, if you're one-to-one, we also do group coaching, and that's with 2 to 4 other businesses that are similar to yours. We come together either on Zoom or in person, and you guys learn as much from them as you do from me, I have to say. There's really power in that. All of my clients meet once a month for a half a day or 6 hours or 7 hours in this room, and we bring a professional speaker in. We do the mastermind. I do some education, so there's learning. There's a lot of learning that goes on in coaching. So that's kind of what a program is about, and then also the 12-week programs that I talked about.